Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be reviewing UFC Fight Night Des Moines, which was in Iowa, United States, and the main event was Cory versus Deiveson Figueiredo. We'll be reviewing the main card, because like I said in my previous videos, that when it comes to fight nights, I only watch the main card. I don't really watch the prelims. This night, the main card, it was hot and cold for me. Some fights I really liked, some fights I did not like. So yeah, man, let's get into it. So let's start with the main event: Cory Sandhagen versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Sandhagen came into the fight ranked fourth with a 17-5 record, with his last fight being a unanimous decision loss to Umar Nurmagomedov in August last year. I remember being very impressed after that fight, with how good Nurmagomedov is. Sandhagen kind of held his own that night, and he didn't let Umar, bully him or anything like that. So I was impressed with Sandhagen's performance there. So I was expecting a lot from him in this fight. And then Deiveson Figueiredo, the former two-time flyweight champion, came into this fight ranked fifth with a 24-4 record and one no contest. His last fight was a unanimous decision loss to Piotr Yan in China last year, and this fight now against Sandhagen was Figueiredo's fifth fight in the bantamweight division since moving up. So both fighters came into this fight from a loss, and yeah, man, let's get into it. In round one, I scored round one 10-9 to Sandhagen. He absolutely dominated Figueiredo. Started off fighting on the outside, with a long guard, throwing nice leg kicks to find the range, and yeah, Figueiredo then intercepted a leg kick and took Sandhagen down, and Sandhagen impressively had a reversal and ended up on top and just had some ground and pound on Figueiredo for the rest of the round, just literally on top of him and just throwing hammer fist hooks, and yeah, a lot of those ground strikes landed on the head. So that was just an absolute domination for Sandhagen in round one. Round two, Sandhagen got the finish. The round started off the same as round one. Sandhagen on the outside, the long guard, throwing kicks, and this time he threw a few long jabs as well to keep Figueiredo on the outside, because Figueiredo is very good when it comes to fighting in the pocket, which was the case when Figueiredo caught him with the right hook in the pocket, but that didn't do much to Sandhagen, and then yeah, Figueiredo took Sandhagen down, and Sandhagen again hit a reversal and ended up on top and landed more ground strikes, ground and pound, Figueiredo was then able to get up, and yeah, man, Sandhagen took him down for the final time, and this time he landed more ground strikes, and then Figueiredo tried reversing, and then Sandhagen locked in some sort of leg triangle, and then they started scrambling while in that leg entanglement that they were in, So while scrambling like that, Sandhagen ended up on top again, and Figueiredo's knee just went into a very weird position. After Sandhagen ended up on top, Sandhagen landed some more hammer fists, and then yeah, the ref called it off because Figueiredo's knee was badly hurt. I don't know if the ref heard Figueiredo scream, or if you could see by his face, but yeah, his knee was badly hurt. Plus Sandhagen's hammer fist on top of that, so the ref called it off. Sandhagen won by TKO. Great win for Sandhagen. He absolutely dominated the fight on the feet and more impressively on the ground. He fought on the outside at his range. He threw leg kicks and jabs, and on the ground he was very sound. He was even more impressive, man. I did not expect to see that from Sandhagen. Reversing Figueiredo's groundwork, and ending up on top and landing lots of ground and pound, before finishing him. So yeah, it was impressive for Sandhagen. A title shot is probably next for him, which I'm not too mad at, because To be honest, a SANDHAGEN versus O'Malley fight would be intriguing. Same as a SANDHAGEN versus Dvalishvili fight would be intriguing. So I'm not really mad at it, but we do know that Piotr Jan is in the title picture somewhere because he's on a 2-fight win streak, beating Song Yadong and Deiveson Figueiredo. So I don't know if we'll get SANDHAGEN versus Piotr Jan to see who the next contender is, or SANDHAGEN is the next contender, but I wouldn't be too mad at it, especially considering that he just beat a former 2-time flyweight champion very impressively. So yeah, man. And then with Figueiredo, it looks like he will be out for a while, man, because that knee injury didn't look good. Yeah, man. I hope he gets well, and I hope he comes back strong. But yeah, man, I don't see him coming back in the near future. And if I remember correctly, I saw a picture of him. I don't know if it was old, but it was probably recent, during his weight cut for this fight. He didn't look too healthy, man, and I wonder if that played a role in his performance, because his performance was it wasn't good at all, man, to be quite frank. He looked way worse than he did against Piotr Jan in China. So I don't know, man. And I heard Bisping say that he even struggled to cut weight for 135. So yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. And then we have the co-main event: Reinier de Ridder versus Nickal. As soon as this fight was announced, I was so excited. Out of the whole card, this was the fight I was most excited about, man. I was like, whoa, this is gonna be intriguing, because as we know, Nickal is one of the best wrestlers in the UFC, and Reinier de Ridder is one of the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialists in the UFC. So this fight is always going to be intriguing, man, because of just the scrambles we're gonna see and the grappling. So yeah, I was looking forward to that. This was a fight for mixed martial arts fans, and not the kickboxing fans who are disguised as mixed martial arts fan. So yeah, man, I was really excited for this. De Ridder came into the fight with a record of 19-2. His last fight was a very easy win against Kevin Holland, where he made him tap, and he also did the same to Meerschaert in his UFC debut, man. So yeah, he came into this fight with a 2-fight win streak in the UFC. Nickal, on the other hand, he came into this fight with a record of 7-0, riding a 7-fight win streak, with his last fight being in November against Paul Craig, where he won by unanimous decision, man. Round one of the fight, I had 10-9 De Ridder. De Ridder had more control time. He landed more strikes in the clinch. He landed an elbow late in the round. Nickal had a submission attempt, which De Ridder bypassed, man, and reversed, and he ended up on top, and that's where he had most of the control time. So that was really impressive from De Ridder, considering how good Nickal is. And yeah, man, each fighter landed a takedown. Yeah, it was just a proper nice grappling round. But De Ridder edged it for me, just because of his work in the clinch and the more control time that he had in that round. And then round two, De Ridder got the finish, man, which I didn't expect. I expected this to go the distance, but yeah, man, the round started off with clinch work between the two again. They were both trying to take each other down, but they both failed. But yeah, man, in the clinch, De Ridder was still more active again, just as it was in the first round. He landed a knee to Nickal's head early in the round. When they clinched up again, he threw more clinch strikes to the body and the head, whilst was holding Nickal against the cage, man. And Nickal looked like he was struggling, and he let go of Nickal and dirty boxed him in the pocket, pieced him up with a combo, threw some nasty hooks, and then he threw some nasty hooks which rocked Nickal, and then threw a nasty knee to Nickal's midsection, which put Nickal down, man. And that was just purely from the accumulation of hits to the midsection, man, from the clinch. And finally that knee looked very devastating, man. So yeah, De Ridder got the finish. He killed the Nickal hype train. De Ridder, a very impressive fighter. If I didn't become a fan after the Kevin Holland fight, I became a fan now, cause I enjoy Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighters when they're good at it, and he's very good at it, man. I like this fight. the grappling was as intriguing as I thought it would be. De Ridder did very well. He used his size advantage very well. He wasn't scared at all to engage in the grappling. He did very well when he was on his back. You could see he was confident in his jiu-jitsu, man. In the clinch, he was phenomenal, throwing knees and punches, and that ultimately won him the fight. Afterwards, he called Strickland out, but I really doubt that fight will happen because it looks like we're gonna get Strickland vs Adesanya too. So the Ridder will probably get a Cannonier, Dolidze, Fluffy Hernandez, or Vittori. One of those guys, I predict. And Bozo Nickal, it's time for him to go back to the drawing board and learn how to strike. Just become more efficient in striking. If he learns how to strike, that means he'll become very good because he has the grappling. He definitely got checked here. This was too early for him. Dana rushed it. So yeah, he should just go back and gain more experience, man. After all, he was 7-0. That just screams inexperience, So yeah, he should go back to the drawing board and just hone his skills, And also, I think this guy needs a heel turn, man. He should do a Colby Covington and just flip everyone off. Just do a Brian battle, because I honestly think that would get people to pay attention to him more. Because let's be honest, man, I won't say unlikable, but he's quite boring, And because of that, people always root against him, So yeah, Bo Nickal, you need a heel. You need a heel turn, my boy. A heel turn, please, 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 please. And then we've got Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Daniel Rodriguez. I was kind of excited for this one as well. Ponzinibbio, a UFC veteran, he came into this fight with a record of 31-7, with 17 of his wins coming by knockout/TKO. His last fight was a knockout win against Carlston Harris in January. And on the other side, Rodriguez, he came into the fight with a record of 17-5, with his last fight being in October last year in a split decision victory against Alex Morono. So both fighters came into the fight with recent wins, And yeah, man, round one, I gave 10-9 to Daniel Rodriguez, man. The round started off very close, not too much action, just kicks here and there, feeling each other out until Ponzinibbio slipped and Rodriguez capitalized. Had a flurry of punches that had Ponzinibbio rocked and running. And yeah, man, Rodriguez ended the round strong by landing more punches. So yeah, that was 10-9 Rodriguez, straightforward round one win. Round two, Ponzinibbio grew into the fight. He had a much better round, This round was more of a scrap, but Ponzinibbio literally outboxed him, man. He kept tagging Rodriguez with the right hand. He cut him open with a 1-2, kept looking for a takedown, and finally landed it to confirm the round. So yeah, Ponzinibbio just outstruck him and was more active in round two. And then round three, we got the finish, man. Rodriguez got the finish. He knocked out Santiago Ponzinibbio. The round started off close again, and then Rodriguez caught him with a beautiful 5-punch combo, man. I don't think I've ever seen a combo that long to finish a fight. Rodriguez just spammed some hooks, and knocked him out. It was a left hook, right hook, right hook, then a left hook combo, which took Ponzinibbio out cold, on his back, on the floor. Ref called it off immediately. And yeah, man, Daniel Rodriguez with the win. Ponzinibbio got up a few seconds later, thinking that he could carry on fighting, but he couldn't. He had no balance, man. He was stumbling over, and still, man. So nice win for Daniel Rodriguez. In a post-fight interview, man said he's 38 years old now and he's gonna start a rap career. That would be interesting, man. Good luck to him and his rap career. Next we've got Montel Jackson versus Daniel Marcos. This fight, man, whoa, this was a chore to watch. Montel Jackson came into the fight ranked 15th with a 14-2 record and riding a 5-fight win streak. His last fight before this was a knockout 18 seconds in against Damon Blackshear. And he was defending his ranking in this fight, man, against Daniel Marcos. Daniel Marcos came into the fight 17-0, 17-fight win streak with 4 wins and a no contest so far in his UFC career. And his last fight was a split decision victory against Adrian Yanez in December last year. First round I gave 10-9 to Jackson. There was very little action in this round. Jackson with early kicks and a good early takedown, and Jackson just controlled most of the round. Had the most control time, especially clinching on the cage. And they got another quick takedown. And yeah, man, Marcus ended the round with a takedown of his own, but barely did anything with that takedown, which was the case throughout the whole fight. So yeah, that was 10-9 Jackson. And then round 2, I gave 10-9 Jackson again, because Jackson was a bit more active here. Marcus got the early takedown and did nothing with it. Fighters got back on their feet, and Jackson just pieced him up with straight punches, man. It looked like those straight punches were hurting Marcos. Marcos kept looking for takedowns. He got some clinch control time, and he landed another takedown that led to nothing. So his striking was just very little here. And round 3, 10-9 Jackson again. This was the busiest Jackson was out of all 3 rounds. He had a nice flurry of punches near the beginning of the round. The straights were still hurting Marcos. Marcos got a takedown and did nothing again. Spent most of the round looking for another takedown, pushing Jackson against the cage. Jackson got another takedown of his own and had a submission attempt, which failed. And yeah, man, just him being busy on his feet and that submission attempt and the takedown was enough for Jackson to win the round and therefore win the fight. So yeah, it was 30-27 Jackson. And I'm pretty sure all the judges, if not 2, gave it 30-27 Jackson as well. No, I think they all gave it 30-27 Jackson. So yeah, man. But this fight was a chore to watch. It was extremely boring. Very little action. The crowd was absolutely dead. Marcos with a horrible fight for someone with a chance to break into the top 15, man. There was little striking from him. A lot of crotch sniffing, looking for takedowns, and doing nothing when getting the takedowns, man. That was the goofiest way I've ever seen someone lose their undefeated streak. So now he's 17-1. He's clearly not ready for top 15, and I didn't expect this after he looked kind of impressive against Adrian Yanez in his last fight in terms of striking, man. And this fight was so boring that there wasn't even a post-fight interview. That's when you know that it was boring. That was a snooze fest of a fight, man. Even I zoned out. Next, we've got Cameron Smotherman versus Serhiy. Cameron Smotherman came into the fight with a 12-4 record. He had a 4-fight win streak before this fight after winning his UFC debut against Jake Hadley last year. And Serhiy, he came into the fight with an 11-2 record, with his last fight being a win against Armfield in November last year. I liked Sidey. His fight against Ramon Taveras at UFC beginning of last year was one of my favorite fights of last year. So I've just been keeping an eye on him ever since. So I was excited to watch him fight here, and yeah, he delivered. Round 1, 10-9 Sidey. He was more active, man, fighting on the outside, using his jabs and kicks well. And when he closed the distance, he used his knees and elbows well. And he had a bit of control time on the clinch too, takedown attempt as well. And yeah, that was enough to win him the round. Smotherman was just counter punching, counter fighting, looking for power punches, but he just couldn't set his feet, man. So that was 10-9 Sidey. Round 2, 10-9 Sidey again, man. On the feet, similar story to round 1. He was more active. Not too much action here, but Sidey got the early takedown, had some control time, and he got another takedown late in the round, to seal the round, and he had more control time then, But yeah, in this round, just like the first, he was mixing the martial arts well here. He was still using the kicks and the jabs well. And yeah, that was a 10-9 round for Sidey. So Sidey went into the third round after winning the first 2 rounds. But in the third round, I gave 10-9 Smotherman. In this round, Smotherman finally showed more urgency, and it paid off in this round. Even though Sidey got the early takedown and tried looking for a dart choke, he couldn't properly set it. And Smotherman got up and landed the most significant blows. He showed very good boxing. He was able to properly set his feet now and let his punches go, let the hands go, and throw some good combos, yeah. And it looked like Sidey was on the ropes a bit here, So yeah, Smotherman was just more active in this round for me, but it wasn't enough to win the whole fight. And yeah, Sidey won this fight 29-28. So yeah, CD won by unanimous decision. I think one judge gave it 30-27 CD, and then two judges gave it 29-28 CD. So yeah, and yeah, man, that was a good fight from CD. He was fighting on the outside and used lateral movement to prevent Smotherman from setting his feet and throwing the power punches, because that's Smotherman's style, you know. CD mixed the martial arts well here, using knees, elbows, kicks, jabs, and takedowns. And yeah, man, just his game plan of just using lateral movement took away Smotherman's ability to set his feet and throw punches, and that just made Smotherman less effective in this fight. So yeah, I kind of enjoyed that one. It was okay. And then we've got Mason Jones versus Jeremy Stephens. Mason Jones came into this fight with a 15-2 record. This was his first UFC fight since losing to Ludovic Klein in 2022. And since then, Mason Jones had 4 fights in Cage Warriors since, you know. Jeremy Stephens, UFC veteran, this fight was his homecoming. And he came into the fight with a 29-21 record. And this was his first fight in the UFC since losing to Matthias Gamrot in 2021. And he's had 3 fights in the PFL since. So yeah, man, the crowd was really pumped for this one, the opening fight of the main card, and it was a good fight. It was very entertaining. Round 1, I had 10-9 Jones. He had a very kick heavy approach, you know, leg kicks, body kicks, head kicks. He had decent hands as well. Stephens was also looking good with the boxing, but Jones kind of matched him with the boxing in round 1, you know. So yeah, Jones was just more active in round 1. Stephens, I felt like Stephens looked kind of rusty because this was like his first UFC fight in a while, you know. So yeah, man. Then Jones ended the round getting his 2 takedowns, so that just sealed the run for Jones. Round 2, I had 10-9 Jones again. This round was much closer, you know. The boxing exchanges were great. This round started off with a bang. Started off as a brawl, you know, and then Jones just gained control and landed the more damaging blows, man. He threw 2 knees to Stephens' head, which cut Stephens open. He threw a spinning back fist, or was it a spinning elbow, one of the two, you know, and threw a head kick, you know. So he just threw more damaging blows here. He was less kick heavy in this round, and I believe that allowed Jeremy Stephens to grow into the fight and fight in the pocket more, and that's where Stephens' boxing was looking good. You know, he landed very good punches in the pocket with the dirty boxing, but Jones was still more active for me here, and he also landed a takedown, which all but confirmed the round. And then round 3 was the easiest round to score. It was 10-9 Jones. Jones with the early takedown, and he just controlled the rest of the round with grappling and just taking him down multiple times, you know. He looked for an armbar, but he couldn't get it. But yeah, man, and there was very little ground and pound from Jones in this fight, and it was just pure grappling and control time and takedowns, you know. Just grinding the fight out, getting Stephens tired, and that was very smart from Jones, you know, to end the round, to end the fight like that, to seal the win. And yeah, man, 30-27 Mason Jones, proper comfortable win for him. Yeah, this was probably the most entertaining fight of the main card, especially the first 2 rounds. This was the fight the crowd was definitely the loudest for, you know. And yeah, man, it was a great display of mixed martial arts by Jones, you know, using kicks, the boxing, the elbows, the grappling. And yeah, I was very impressed with Mason Jones. I'll be keeping an eye on him for sure, because I like fighters like this, you know, and he seems like he has a great personality as well, man. So I'm gonna start following him and see how far he goes. You know, he's only 30 years young, so yeah, man, hopefully he goes far in this business, man. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching the video. That's my review of UFC Des Moines. Please leave a comment, tell me what you guys think of the event, you know. Please like and subscribe to the video, and yeah, man, thanks for watching.